And welcome all to yet another session of Aurelian's Fair, the live stream event for the Restitutor Orbis Channel. So who do we have with us so far? I've seen Jamie. Hey, Tabor, good to see you again. Glad you could make it. And Bluegrass, welcome. Who else do we have that's out there? Go ahead and say hello real quick if you have a moment. Well, it looks like we've got some bashful people. Hey, Adam, good to see you. Welcome. Glad you could make it. And Justin, hello. Ron, welcome. Nobody's Preacher, welcome. Good to see everybody. Hey, Cesus. Good old New Zealand. Captain Flatastic, good to see you. All right, we got somebody from Louisville. That's awesome. Hey, Cosmic Gumdrop, welcome. Oh, yeah, we do lives once a week here. All right, well, without any further ado, we'll just go ahead and get right into the joint exploration. Hey, Polly, good to see you. And I'll say hello to you as we go. But let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? All right. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Just give me a yes that you can see this wonderful one. Hey, Cruising Gal, welcome. Thanks. All right, thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Excellent. Hey, Rebecca. All right, so what we have here is the DuPont Manual High School. This is one of the beauties from Louisville. And I recall riding my bike past this one probably back in, I think it was 2010. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but then looking at this incredible tower, and this was one of those high schools that was founded in the 19th century, and then supposedly they rebuilt this one in the 1930s. But what do you think on the detail with this tower? Get a little closer so you can really see it. It's a pretty good image show. What are your thoughts on this one? This was one that really got my attention when I was going through and looking at all the incredible buildings in Louisville. And it seems that there's a lot of incredible buildings in all these cities that we look at. Yeah, that's a good one there, Viking Gnome. Very good one. And since we got everybody, please be sure you hit that like button. Yeah, the spire detail, that's a good one. And then it's another one of those that defies easy explanation. I mean, why are they putting this kind of detail in a high school? And you see this in high schools all over the place. Although for some reason it seems to come up in the Midwest a lot, although Louisville considers itself the South, interestingly enough. So I remember when I was there, people told me, well, you're in the South. And I said, well, I thought I'm in the Midwest. Oh, no, you're in Kentucky. You're in the South. Like, well, the Midwest is right over there across the river. Hey, Jarman Vicious. Yeah, 3s and 2s. That's a good point, Tabor. Very good point. Ashley, welcome. I don't pay attention to numbers. You got to go through those numbers at some point. That's a good call out. Yeah, the pillars do almost look like obelisks. So you have to wonder, if they try to sell this as something that we built, what's the point behind all this detail and all this ornate decoration with the windows and the pillars and everything else? What purpose does it really serve? Certainly it can't be to help us educate high schoolers, you know. So, This was one that really got my attention, and it really started me thinking that going deeper into Louisville was warranted, and it looks like that was a good call. So let's go on to the next one. Ah, yes, this was a really fun one. The good old water tower in Louisville. And the picture that they were moving the beautiful statues from it. It's a good call out there, Bluegrass. I forgot about that one. Now, what did you think of this water tower over here? Originally built in 1860, they say it was knocked down by a cyclone, as they called them back then. Of course, then you have this administrative building with massive columns on it and pillars. That's a good one. Well, yeah, I mean, how are people going to know it's a water tower if it doesn't look like it's something out of ancient Rome? And yes, why they were moving the statues, that's a good question. Obviously, they needed to remove some of the ornation from it, or the ornate detail and decoration. We can't have people getting the wrong idea. Why in the heck do you have a statue of Poseidon up there? Who else is up there? What is going on? They say they put them into storage, but if somebody's got a different account, by all means, let me know. And I'm not in Louisville right now, so certainly willing to take whoever's got it there. Oh yeah. Well, and you know what the funny thing is with this water tower is this is a very popular wedding venue. So, yep, and that's a good call out there, Bluegrass. I recall hearing about that, although to be fair, when I was there the last time, I somewhat ignored that, and I really wish I wouldn't have. Not the things that we learn in life. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're lucky we still have this one because this is one of those telltale signs when you have a quote unquote water tower like this. So, but don't worry, there are many more beautiful water towers that we're going to be seeing in upcoming explorations. So don't think this is the last one that you're going to see. This is in Louisville, Cosmic Gumdrop. This is in Louisville. Trying to remember the exact location. There was a music festival there, but I didn't get to it because, as I think I explained on the comments when I published the Louisville video, I didn't have the same eyes when I was there that I do now. And to my regret, I wish I did. There's so much to see there that I missed. So I'm probably going to have to make a little detour and get back to Louisville and take a look-see. So anyways, yep, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, Greece does come to Kentucky. That's a good one, Captain Flatastic. So yeah, it's a good point, Paulie, and you're starting to lean ahead in research. I'm starting to look into that, and I'm probably going to do what I like to call a unified theory video on that. So look for that to come up. So, all right. In any event, we'll be moving on from this one because honestly, we could look at this water tower all day and never get tired of it. This is the first Christian church, and I found this one very interesting that Christians were building in this kind of style in Louisville, which is where this one is. Some of the history I dug up on this one was a little interesting. I don't recall sharing a lot, but this was something else that really got my attention. Yeah, that's right, Polly. What else would it be? The water tower is Roman architecture, so the Christian church may as well be Roman architecture too, right? uh, yep, that's a good one. Good call out there on the window. And you see it on a lot of those windows with these churches right there. And you see it on this one next to the amazing columns. And of course, we have to build stairs up to it. Yep, looks like it's straight out of Rome, no doubt about it. And I think you're right on that one, nobody's preacher. I think I recall saying that in the video. Maybe I didn't, but yeah, it could have been a bank. It could have been, something else along those lines. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And of course, we see the big, huge foundational base stones down here. Someone made a pretty funny comment on the Louisville video, and it was something about the fact that the construction on these wouldn't be that complicated. Yeah, that's a good one. It does look more like a courthouse, and I'm kind of surprised it wasn't designated a courthouse. Like they were pushing it, calling that a church. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, this was a good one. Does anybody remember what this was? Since we're talking about municipal buildings. This was a real fun one to consider, and of course it seems like you come across something like this in every city, that they have to have an incredible building like this with a big clock tower on it. uh, Dead on, both of you. It was post office, and supposedly it was a city hall, kind of that federal post office court building. So, nope, this was a post office. This is another beauty from the 19th century that, of course, was torn down because of quote unquote urban renewal. And that's right. And I mean, look at the tower on this one. Just gorgeous, intricate detail. Nice big clock. And look, you even see it up there, what I like to call the old Roman Forum architecture. Thank you for that, Tabor. I appreciate it. I like that one too, Captain Flatastic. Yeah, it might well be the Queen's quarters. Why not? And again, you see the big, huge foundational stones, the windows, and everything else. So, yeah, it's a good one, Alex. And that's what it really boils down to, out with the old, in with the new. Didn't want to have buildings like this hanging around. How do you explain this? And with the whole Roman Forum look on it, that's how many floors up? 4 floors up on the 5th floor. Well, you know, why wouldn't you build like that? It's just so easy to do. It's simple. Of course, just because something seems simple doesn't mean it's not hard. Hey, Kathy, welcome. It's all good. Come on anytime. And for everybody just arriving, please be sure you hit that like button. It's good to see everybody. That's what I always enjoy the most about the live streams, is just talking to everybody. So, all right. Well, again, this is another building we can look at for 100 years and never get tired of, because we just can't explain it. And unfortunately, it's not with us. You know, and when I come across these older buildings, I wish I could just get the chance to take a look and look at the interior. That's the real thing that I lament about them. So, yeah, good one there, my friend. No shortage of cool things in Asheville, NC, North Carolina. Don't worry, Asheville's coming up in a video too. Who knows? Who knows how old the building is? Could be a couple hundred years, could be older, or it could be a newer building. You know, there's really no way to know, because unfortunately can't get on the ground and look at it. And we're just going off a photo, which you're all properly commenting has some rather bizarre aspects to it. How is this photo altered? I mean, it looks like it was. Don't know. And I wouldn't venture a guess on estimating the age unless I could actually get on the ground and see it firsthand. Well, you're not too far off from that. They could probably say it was built in 1790. You know, they built this right after they founded the city. So, oh, of course, of course. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Oh, yes, the good old Knights Templar Arch, a photo that was supposedly from 1901. What do y'all think of this one? This was another one that really got my attention. You know, and we can go off of the old, it has the World's Fair look. You know, is it all, yeah, I like the crown on it too. Is it all just stucco and plaster and balsa wood, and they built this as a temporary construction? Yeah, that's a good point there, Adam. Now, the interesting thing is on the military orders, supposedly the Knights Templar has a close relationship with the Teutonic Knights, and that's where you'll see that cross from, the good old German Iron Cross. Well, that might be, Ed. That might be. I agree. It does have a bit of a ghoulish feel to it, So who knows? I mean, could this be something they threw up temporarily right at the turn of the century? Sure. But is there more going on here? We definitely have that impression. Well, thank you, Tombs and Temples, and welcome. Yeah, that's another good call out there. And trying to get all your comments up here because you're all making great comments. The four chevrons. There's just so much little ornate detail in this for also what's supposed to just be a temporary building. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge all this. Oh, yeah. Well, that's always the thing. Who knows about these photos? The whole thing could just be something that's put together to confuse us, or there could be something more to it. You do find accounts of this, but who knows? I mean, anybody can do a written account. It's just like the written account of my family. Who knows if that's real? I don't. And I acknowledge that. Nope. And it just depends what you're going to interpret with the photo. Maybe they had more technology in the past when it came to photo manipulation than we're aware of, or maybe they didn't. Hard to say. All right, let's go to the next one. This was First Lutheran Church, another beauty from the 19th century. There's a ton of beautiful churches in Louisville, and I remember thinking that even before I had the eyes that I do now. All right, who wants to say it with a window? I'm not going to say it. Go ahead and say it. Somebody's got to say it in the comments. What's with the window? Come on. Yeah, that's a good point, M1. And I think that's what we have to remember. Could be red sandstone, limestone. Yeah, yep, there you go, Jamie. He's got it. Cymatics. And the best part about this one is this is one you can still go see in Louisville if you're so inclined. You can walk up to it, touch it. I mean, is it sandstone? Is it limestone? Is it some combination? Who knows? Oh, that's a good one, Adam. Yep, 369. Hey, Bear, good to see you. Well, all true. Great comments, all of you. And here's the thing I welcome every perspective. Oh, yeah. And what have we got up here? Yep, here you go. That's a good question there, Cruising Girl. I don't know. Excuse me, Cruising Gal. It seems as though we had more finances to burn in the 19th century, although, how? We didn't have the Federal Reserve. So, all right. Well, now that we've looked at our church for the day, Ishka 108, good to see ya. And that's a very good observation. You were absolutely correct. There might be. It looks like there could be. Well, and that's what they'll tell us. And everybody could build these really quickly. Every small town across the Midwest has a very remarkable church or several. And that's what it boils down to. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this was Central State Hospital, unfortunately, where my great grandfather met his demise and spent the last almost 4 decades of his life. There really aren't many photos of Central State Hospital. It's kind of hard to come by. And there was definitely some bad reputations that continued to persist to it to this day. And you can find accounts, especially with some of the hauntings that happened in Louisville. I believe they called this the Lakeland area. But you have your classic asylum design. And look at that, parapets. Always had parapets with these buildings, and we saw them on some of the houses too. Yeah, that might be the trick. Yeah, that's a good one, Alex. Yep. And who knows what the original intention behind these buildings were. I've heard a lot of interesting comments, especially since publishing the video on the orphan trains. But you might recall the very first exploration done on the channel, and it was a bit of a trial exploration, was on St. Coletta, which was this tremendously large school that was in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. I mean, it was next to a small town in Jefferson of about 7,000 people. But when you see the size of this facility, and this is it right here, this is the entire facility, you could fit so many people in here. Now, supposedly this was just a school. Yeah, I know we're jumping away from Louisville, but I'm just making a point that the comment that I had is that maybe all these facilities were some sort of refuge prior to the reset. And I think there's a lot with that aspect. And that's why these larger buildings and facilities that became schools and asylums, that's why they survived. And it would explain a lot. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. I'll get to it, Kathy. I'll get to it. List keeps growing, but I will definitely get to it. AT fetch, and yeah, that might be true. All right, let's get on with it. Next one. Okay, back to Louisville, and this is at the University of Louisville. You need to have a great administration building that is built after the Pantheon in Rome. Supposedly, at least that's what they tell us. And of course, you got the statue and the big columns on this one. I always like the fact that there's always steps going up to a door. I think that helps you feel important. And it's not just the University of Louisville. You'll see this kind of administration building on any university across the United States. Oh, good one, Polly. Good one. Neoclassical. That's right. Yeah, and I think there's a reason they came up with that saying there, Alex. Yeah, they'll say it's a replica, but who knows for sure? Who really knows for sure? uh, yeah, you're making so many great comments. Very true. All right, on to the next one. Oh, yes, the Conrad house, again in Louisville. Nice little house. It's funny. I'll share this with y'all. Somebody on Reddit told me when I posted the video about the great houses of the old world, they said, they're just really big houses. Yep, they're really big houses, all right. I mean, that's true. Look at this detail. I mean, there's probably some truth to that, Ed. And then here you have the scaling with the columns that we always seem to see. But I mean, right here, what is this supposed to represent? I didn't really zero in on this in the video, but I will here just for you all to see. Very intriguing, isn't it? And here more of the detail down here. Some interesting symbolism. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is a lion. What is the symbolism? What is the symbolism? Not symbology. Anybody ever see Boondock Saints? Yeah, that's probably true. Good call there, Captain Flatastic. Yep. Hard to say. Or it could be some sort of other hybrid animal that we're not aware of. You know, there's all kinds of designs that indicate that's the case. Oh, whoa. That's a good call out there, Polly. Yeah, I haven't seen that word in a while. uh, okay, I got y'all going. I got to stop my movie references. All right, on to the next one. We could look at this one all day too. One thing I'll leave off on though is I like how you got the little subsidiary tower hill built in the main tower, as though that was no challenge to do back at that time. Piece of cake. That's not complicated. That's simple. And here we have the somewhat modest City Hall of Louisville, although that's after looking at the City Hall in Philadelphia. Yep, funny how that one worked out. Take a look here at the nice big clock tower up here. Of course, you see the same ornate detail, and everybody had to have a big clock back then. You just don't know where you are unless you have a clock at some point. Well, heck, I think we could call this night before Christmas architecture. Why not? Reminds me of that animated cartoon from the 70s where they had to get the clock tower working so Santa knew to stop at the town. Oh, yeah, programming was very different back then. Oh, look, almost missed it. Got our famous little Roman Forum design over here, because why not? And looks like we got some more columns over here. Oh, of course. Where would you be without your columns? All the way down. And on the second floor, of course. Of course, large foundation stones. All right, well, there's the Louisville City Hall. And you might be right there, Adam. It does. And you wonder if they modified it or changed it. Although, I think this part, well, it's hard to say. You could be right. It could be an add-on. The top definitely looks like an add-on. Definitely hard to say with this one, and who knows what it originally looked like. Sure, it was a beauty in its original form. Okay, and now we got some of the houses to take a look at. They're just big houses. Oh, yes, my favorite Gargamel revival style here. And this is in Long Island. Built in a year, 1917 to 1918, and they even had the temerity to say that they put stucco on the outsides of the walls, and that's why it shines so beautifully. 1 year. Now imagine having this built for you. This was built for Alva Belmont, and she was famous as a suffragist, apparently, and spent a lot of her life living in castles. And she was born in a castle, and I think it was Mobile, Alabama, if memory serves, or excuse me, Mobile, Alabama. Let me make sure I say that properly. Oh, yeah. Well, where would it be without a tower and your massive windows and your subsidiary tower again? Yep. No problem. Of course, the other thing I found baffling is, in addition to these very long and tall windows. Yeah, probably. And welcome, Flat Reflection. I always like the parapets too. Well, and you don't wonder if that's what somebody did or if that's what somebody set up. It's very clear that's what happened. All right, I'll go to the next one. Oh, and here we are in San Francisco, because if you need any evidence that you're in San Francisco, just look for the trolley, because it's not like every town in the United States didn't have a trolley around the 20th century, right? Bailey, good to see you. Yeah, good call out there, cruising gal. Lots of chimneys, because you got to make sure you stay warm. At least that's what they'll tell us. Oh, good one. Like that one, Jamie. Yeah, goth, no doubt about it. Something really interesting with this one. I really like this structure here, though. This is very unique. I mean, it does have a gothic feel to it. You tend not to see this on houses. Yeah, the monsters. I need to watch the monsters. Perfect Storm. Thanks for joining us. Oh, good comment there, Adam. Ray Cerrone, that's right. Yeah, super intricate, Polly, right up there. And you can see it in the windows and the towers. Yeah, absolutely. I do wonder. All right, on to the next one. I'm sure it was an amazing view, Polly. No doubt about it. Okay, back to the Palmer House. Now, for those of you who remember the Shilaga video, no, sorry that it's not standing, Cruising Gal. The only one that was standing in that entire video is the wondrous and beautiful remnants of the Biltmore. And you can still go to the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina. Every other house in that video was torn down, including this one, sad as it may be. Yeah, I wonder. Oh, this is another beauty from the late 19th century, supposedly, or the Palmer residence. And yeah, it's not a castle, it's just a big house, right? Just a big house. Big entryway with some pillars right here and those foundation stones, no doubt about it. Yeah. And you know what, Tabor? I'm sure if it was still standing, that's exactly what they would have used it for filming. And I think the interior of it looked like it was something that they would have filmed from Blade Runner. They could have used it as Eldon Tyrell's house. Yeah, I like this one a lot too. Good one, Bailey. Good one. Yeah, it does look like a castle from that. Okay, we'll move on because this is another one we could look at forever, and it's easy to do. Oh, the Cliff House. The good old Cliff House. Now, there is quite a confused history with this one, and there's a lot of conflicting accounts, especially when you consider the fact that, yep, very true. And don't worry, I'm getting to Europe in good time. Of course, that's going to take an entirely different approach because there's a different historical narrative when it comes to Europe and especially Ireland and the United Kingdom. San Francisco. This is in San Francisco, or was in San Francisco. Supposedly right next to the Sutro Baths. Little topic that other researchers, John Levi, have covered. Yep, I'm with you on that one. And this was one that survived the San Francisco earthquake in 1906 and General Funston's troops with dynamite who were creating fire breaks. But then it burned down anyway in 1907 by forces unknown. Hey, Ann, welcome. Yeah, good one. Let me get my Cliff's notes. All right, on to the next one. Okay, and here was another one of my favorites. This was the Charles Schwab house. Although how you can call this a house and keep a straight face is beyond me. Camelot Revival style. Lucius Aurelian, the architect. I'm calling this Camelot Revival style. Some of the great, amazing towers and then the intricate detail above each of the windows. The interior on this one is utterly gorgeous, too. Well, you know, it's funny because what happened to Schwab in the end is he got zapped in the Great Depression. It completely cleaned him out, supposedly. And then he tried to donate this to the city of New York. But the mayor, LaGuardia, wasn't having anything of it. He was a reform minded mayor and he was not going to live in a castle. Oh, no. He was someone of the people. At least that's what he said. Mm. Yep. All just decoration. All these antennas, they were just decoration. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, that name still comes up a lot, doesn't it? Let's see, Ann. They'll probably tell us they did it with 30 and, they only work 6-hour days. And I think, oh, yeah, this one was a 4-year special, 1902 to 1906. 4-year special, no problem. Again, simple, simple. Okay, I think this was, I'm trying to remember, the Windmore in Pennsylvania. This is your classic Greek revival, Greco-Roman, because you've got all the trappings here. Oh, thanks. Nothing too hot. I appreciate that. And welcome to everybody else I haven't said hi to. And if you're just joining, please make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, Athenian. Oh, that's a great one, Jamie. I'm gonna have to remember that. Athenian revival style. I think we all feel that way. Yeah, and appreciate all the new participants on the live stream. It's really increased. I wonder why. But nevertheless, I'm delighted to see everybody here. Okay, we'll go on to the next one because we've seen this style quite a bit before. William A. Clark House. And I'm not going to cover this one in a video. I may get around to it, but Old World Explorer does a great look at this one. It's one of his early videos, and he does a really good job with the detail on it. And this is definitely another one of those style-defying looks. Yeah. It's just a big house, Captain Flatastic. It's just a big house. You don't need a cleaning staff. It's just a big house. So just accept it as it is. Bannister, good to see you. Yeah, and you're probably right on that one, T-Fetch. I'm sure it is old. Though they say it took, I'm trying to remember, I think this one took 14 years, 13 years, and then it was only around for 16 years. Yeah, I agree. It does look incredibly old. Again, a lot of chimneys, a lot of the detail. Might well be. Because where would we be without an airship docking tower, especially if we traveled by airships? And just go back and watch The Golden Compass, the film. It was okay. It was when films were starting to slip in the 2000s. And that's what they'll tell us today. It does have some German trappings to it. Although you saw a lot of buildings like this in Germany, too. And it's probably a good call there, Dinosaur Falcon, and welcome. Barjean, good to see you. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Bioshock Infinite. You know what, Polly? You reminded me of another game. I think it was Half-Life, where I think it was the Combine, the evil alien empire, and they constantly kept people in a state of flux. That kind of, I was reminded of that when I was doing the Orphan Trains video, how people are just kept moving from one location to the other. Diaspora. All right, moving on, because we could look at this one forever, too. The good old Southern Exposition in Louisville. And just take a look at this big old beauty. Well, Noble, the reason why I don't reveal my personal history on the channel is if the powers that be were going to stop me, they would have done so. They've had ample opportunity to do so. So obviously talking about it's not going to set anybody off, or they don't have the power to stop us. So on and on we go. Yep. And I think they said this was 6 blocks or something like that. Yeah, I'm surprised they won't tell us that. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Oh, yes, the watch company in Waltham, Massachusetts. So I don't know if you're familiar, but the United States was actually one of the leading producers of pocket watches in the 19th century. And it all started here at the Waltham Watch Company in 1850. It was founded in 1850. Now, of course, World War II came along and Waltham was constructing time detonators and then watches for service members. And then after World War II, with the disarmament, they were apparently left flapping in the wind and they went under. Here's what that building looks like today. It's still with us in Massachusetts. Quite a beauty. Because, if you're going to make watches, then you need a big tower with a big clock on it. It only makes sense. How can I make watches unless I've got a big tower with a clock on it, right? And, ornate towers. And what was the other one? Oh, here. Nice big windows. And I think you got another clock tower over here. Very intriguing aspect. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I'll leave you to look at the Waltham place today, and we'll go into question and answer. So stand by. I will be right back. All right, I am back. We always have to deal with the animals here and there. So that concludes the image review for the day. We'll have some better ones next week. Right now, just wanted to let everybody know that the channel is growing very quickly, and we're going to continue the explorations, and I'm going to look to maintain the same publication schedule, looking to get 4 to 5 good videos out a week. One little change, though, is we're going to see probably fewer movie reviews. I know that's not necessarily what you might be looking for, but some of the movie reviews are a little backlogged, and I've gotten a lot of other requests for explorations that follow on with what we've already had so far. And I think a lot of people are wanting to see the time frame that happened right after the reset, at least my theory that it happened right after 1850. So we're going to have some videos focusing on that. So well, thanks for everybody for calling out for the like button. Yeah, please hit that like button and welcome everybody. Now, don't worry, the movie reviews are going to continue, although I'm looking at some different potential options for how to do that. If it's going to potentially be starting an auxiliary channel. I know that's one way to do it. Like I've seen John Levi, he's got his off-topic channel, and that's where he talks about things like that. I've considered that. I'm certainly open to suggestions on what you'd all like to see. The other thing that I'm looking at for the channel is opening up a membership. Now, I don't want anybody to overreact to this. The whole point beyond the membership is I've gotten lots of requests now for people to share some of the exploration process. And I've been considering making some how-to videos on how to do, whether you're into video making or even doing your own explorations, even if you're just going out and you're hitting a small town or what have you. So in any event, those are just some of the things that I'm looking at, and there'll be more information to come with that as I get that set up. But as always, the channel will continue on the format that it's been on. We'll continue with explorations that'll come out 4 to 5 per week. Yeah, it's a good one, Ed. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. And in fact, next Saturday, we're going to look at a conflict video because I don't think anyone's really looked hard. Maybe somebody has, and I've just missed it. But really looking at the conflicts of the 19th century. We always talk about World War I, World War II, because we have a much brighter picture of that. But I want to go back and take a look at that because it's actually a lot more widespread than we realize. And it's pretty revealing when you look at it. And it also goes along with where we started with the orphan train. So that's where we're looking to go. And I'll certainly put the announcements out on the community tab, and then I'll tag it on to the end of the videos so you can follow along with what's going on. And by all means, hit me up in the comments, or, you know, we're on Reddit, we're on Twitter, and you can certainly let us know there. And, you know, we're always open to suggestions if there's other things you'd like to see on the channel, or, you know, if you want to see more of a one type of review or the other, although I've got to admit the requests are really piling up. So, you know, I still owe our award winner a video from this last week that I'm working on tomorrow, looking to get that out this week. And then we've got the continued city explorations that we're going to do. And we've got some specific locations that we're going to be looking at. So, oh yeah, there's always labeling of people. And you know what? The trick to handling that is just maintain your focus, stay objective, and don't let what other people try to say to you or call you affect you. That's just what they're trying to project on you. That doesn't have to be you. Okay, so now that I've given my announcements, I am wide open to question and answer. So what questions do you have, whether it's about the videos or where the channel's going or anything else like that? Oh, Jamie. Are you talking about continued explorations on the Trois de Dannen or finishing the Battle of Ventry? Well, I've got to say, it's really great to see so many people here on the chat, and I appreciate everything that you share. And I think that's what's really impressive to me is just how knowledgeable you all are and how articulate you are. And you know, you've helped shape this channel into what it is because of a lot of the feedback that you've given already in the comments and on these live chats, and I really appreciate that. And don't worry, Adam, I know you were one of the very first ones with me, brother from another mother. Okay. Well, we might have to do that one in a special way, Jamie, just so you know. So let's just say there's been a little friction with that. That's about all I can reveal. But it's not impossible to finish. We can finish it and definitely get out the last part of it. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Okay, we got some questions here, one at a time. Not sure. There might be something with that. Those could be old energy storage areas, or they could be something else, or it's just leftover material from the previous civilization. That would be my theory, but we need to look into that more. Well, they had something very advanced. Although, were they really building mounds, or is that just what was left for us to see? Very much so. I think a lot of those are cover stories, so I'll get to it. It's going to come out on some more unified theory videos that'll probably be coming out in the coming weeks. I've got about 3 of them that are lined up. The first one's going to be the research paradox. We'll talk about how research and how people like to use the term, you don't do good research, to try to control what your beliefs are. It's very interesting to see. Yes, but the details on it I'm still looking into. And welcome, Radioactive. I've gone back and forth a lot over the last 15 years, but I mean, everybody has their own beliefs and I respect them. I'm honestly still on my journey and my path, so haven't come to a final conclusion yet. Quality greater than quantity. I agree with that. Possibly. Or the cities are. I haven't really touched ley lines yet, but that's something I'll get to. No, I have not. So we're going to be getting to that. There's going to be a special exploration coming up on that one. Yeah, they sure do, Ron. They do. And on many other shows, it's something they don't want us to forget about. Yeah, that's right, Kathy. They sure do. And they're pretty ones, too. That was one of my very early explorations where I covered some mounds in Wisconsin, and then they openly said they were just buried pyramids, but don't call them pyramids. You can only call them mounds, at least for the ones in Wisconsin. It's been a while since I saw the ones in Kentucky. Yeah, they could be. They could well be. Yeah, there's no shortage of interesting aspects to that city, and also the different incarnations it's been through, even in our mainstream history. Well, and I'll just throw this out here, Bluegrass. I miss the older French fries too, but that's probably just me, in my own old world. The mounds that are at, let me make sure I pronounce it properly, Aztalan Park. It's right in between Lake Mills and Jefferson, right off of I-94, basically in the middle of nowhere. Lake Mills, where they've got that pyramid in the lake, but the mounds are actually just east of it. There's huge mounds out there, and they kind of have them hidden. They want everybody to pay attention to the lake, cruising gal. So it's right there between Jefferson and Lake Mills. I'm shooting from the hip, but I'm pretty sure that's where it was. So yeah, you definitely see it a lot. Well, it's a theory I haven't discounted yet, Bear, and it's something I need to look at a little bit more. And I've touched a little bit. I was going to tie it into a review of the film Vanilla Sky, but I haven't gotten around to that one yet. And Vanilla Sky, for some reason, it's not a bad film. It's just, it's very difficult for me to watch, and I'm not sure why. It's not a bad film. It doesn't hit me that way. So, oh, don't worry, Jamie. I have, and there's going to be an upcoming video talking about what Lovecraft was really alluding to in a lot of his writings. So, yep, that's true enough. Well, and then I also like to joke that in the United States we need to have domes, so we're in a democratic nation. It's a democratic dome, even though we're constitutional federal republic. Don't tell anybody that. People get antsy about that. Welcome, Brian. Good old Des Moines, home of one of my favorite structures, the Iowa State Capitol, Five Dome Capitol. That's kind of what got me all started. All right. Well, before we go off on any other tangents here, I'm going to open it up. Do we have any requests for continued topics? Oh, that's a good one, Tabor. I like that. Domocratic. All right, open it up. Any requests, any topics of videos you'd like to see? And keep in mind, movie reviews is backlogged right now. So you might have to be patient on that one. Well, it definitely looks like it. It's also a strange feeling you get when you go into that desert, and the Mojave especially. There's a really strange feeling one gets when you go into the Mojave, at least in my experience. So, yes, I do. And here, I'll type it out for you. And you'll have my email to send pics in a second. And it's the channel email, so feel free to hit it up. And there you are. So if you don't know the channel email, that's it. And yeah, feel free to send me pics there for direct correspondence. I will be happy to take a look. It's on the list. It's definitely on the list. What do you want to know about merchandise for the channel? Am I getting another request for a Carl Sagan shirt? uh, yep, that's a good one. The Boss is Town. What do you mean? What's my IG, Mac? Sorry, I've got acronym fratricide going on my head here. IG means about 7 different things to me. So, yeah, exactly. Maybe someday, or maybe you've already seen my face and you just don't know it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly the case. So, all right. Well, by all means, shoot me an email on the channel email. We can discuss it. I would appreciate that. It took some time. Maybe we'll get to that in an upcoming video. Oh, Instagram. Thanks, Polly. I'm just on Twitter and I'm on Reddit. And those links are on the channel. And if you need them, just let me know. You always crack me up. Yes, we do have a subreddit, and it's under Lucius Aurelian on Reddit. I'll post an update on the community with the links for both, just for, I know we've gotten a lot of new subscribers to the channel, so I'll just put that out on the community. So you got the links to that, okay? What do we got here? You know, there's some strange ones that actually make an appearance in the original film Teen Wolf. That might be something worthwhile to cover, even though it seems a little out there. All right. Well, we're just about ready to close it for the day. Are there any final questions? You got 2 minutes. Speak now, or you can hit the comments on the community section, or you can hit the comments on the live video once it's posted. A quick question I have for you, though. What have you thought of the videos this last week? The city explorations and looking more at structures a little bit more. Now, thanks, Perfect Storm. I appreciate that. All right. So, looks like we're on the right track with some of the topics. So, hey, Rebecca, welcome. We'll definitely keep them coming. Well, and you wonder if it's all just a replay of situations that we've had for a long time. Hey, Restoring Reality, welcome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. RH negative, the ancients. We'll be exploring that too in due time. Believe me, the list just keeps getting longer. It's not getting shorter. As I've said before, there is no shortage of content. So I appreciate that, Tabor. I really appreciate it, and glad you could make this one. And it's always good to see. It's always good to see all of you. And frankly, all of you have the greatest comments. And this is the part I enjoy about the channel most, is interacting with you. So, well, we're going to have to cut it short for today. Normally, I'd prefer to go a little longer, but it's another one of those busy days, and we got some tasks to tick off the old list. So, by all means, please make sure that if you have questions or concerns, let me know in the comments. And if you have recommendations, let me know at any point in time. But it has been a joy and a pleasure again this week. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekends, or however much of it you have left, wherever you are across the lands. As always, explore yourself, ask questions, and you will restore the world. Thank you, and have a great weekend.